lesbian detective. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Right now, lesbian detective. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready, let's go. Pay attention to the message I present to you, the lesbian detectives.
This is Lesbian Detectives. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And we are here talking about missing and unsolved murders.
We are discussing cases that you have forgotten about or never even heard of.
So sit back, relax, and let's start this podcast. Welcome back, everybody. This is Spooky True Crime. You know, we did this last year and we're doing it again. In the month of October, we only doing cases that somebody went missing or unalive on Halloween Day. So this case, it happened on Halloween. And actually, this case is a trigger warning. If you do not want to hear an unaliving of a child under the age of 2, please do not listen. And yes, this is the youngest unsolved unaliving that we have done so far. And that is super sad.
Yeah.
And guys, before we start this case, I am in my feelings today. I'm in my feelings. I know you guys watch my women basketball with me. But the Lynx, the head coach is out. Fisa out.
Dejanay's out.
Dejanay is out. That's my favorite player. But I'm like, okay, we got Fee. And they're playing.
If they don't win this game, they're out.
They're out. And I'm not watching it. I just can't. Because my blood pressure is going to be high. And I know you're like, Sierra, why did you say this after everything? I just had to let you know where my mindset is at, okay? I'm going this right now as they're playing because I cannot watch it. And my phone is turned off. Everything. I don't have no notifications. Who guys, but if they win, yes, if they lose, let me cry in peace. And if you don't like the Lynx, keep it to yourself. Because my wife does it, so. If they lose, I'm going for the Aces. So, Aces lose, dang, I don't know who I'm going for. Because I ain't going for the Fever, and I'm not going for Mercury.
There's always next year.
Because they took out both my teams. So it's like, I'm not watching it. I'm boycotting it.
I've already mourned the loss of Seattle Storm for over a week, so I'm good. I'm over it.
Then it's my turn. Hopefully the Lynx, you got this, baby. Guys, okay, I'm done. Let's get into the episode. On Halloween night, 1977, the streets of a small Oklahoma city glowed with the faded magic of the holiday. Costumed children hurried home with pillowcase full of candy, their laughter echoing in the crisp autumn air. Porch light clicked off one by one, and the world grew quieter again. Behind closed doors, families settled into their routine, believing the night had been no different than any other Halloween. Inside one modest home, the warmth of normalcy filled the air. A toddler was placed gently in her crib. Her parents lingered for a moment, watching her small chest rise and fall before they turned off the light. The house was calm, silent, but the soft creaks of the settling wood. Sometime in the darkness, a cry pierced the stillness. The small, mournful cry of a child restless sleep. Her parents heard her, waited a moment, and chose to wait it out, trusting she will soon drift off again. It was a kind of decision exhausted parents make every night, one that felt so ordinary in the moment, but in the years that follow, that choice will return again and again, and their memory sharp as glass, carrying questions that would never truly be answered. When dawn broke, the house should have been filled with the sound of a child wakening. Instead, it was met with silence. The crib that held their daughter the night before now stood chilling empty. The ordinary night was gone forever. What had slipped so quietly into their house and stole more than sleep? This is the case of Nima Louise Carter. Nima Louise Carter was born on March 26, 1976, to Rose and George Carter. Her family remember her as a quiet, easygoing child, the kind of baby who seemed content just to sit and watch the world around her. She had sparkling, dark eyes, deep and curious, that gave the impression she was always studying everything and everyone nearby. Nima wasn't fussy or demanding. She was calm and observant and carried a sweetness that made her presence feel gentle but unforgettable. Halloween night of 1977 in the small city of Lawton, Oklahoma. Trick-or-treating was winding down. Children in their costumes ran up and down the sidewalks, their laughter carrying in the cool October air. Porch light glowed across the neighborhood. Bowls of candy sat near front door, and tired parents hurried their little one home after an evening of sugar and fun. Inside one modest home, George and Rose Carter was ending their night with a sense of quiet routine. Their daughter, 19-month-old Nima Louise, had been dressed up earlier that evening, delighting everyone who saw her. She was still too young to understand the excitement of Halloween, but she had her parents full of tension. Her giggles filled the room as they carried her through their night ritual. By nighttime, Nima was restless, fighting sleep as toddlers often do. George and Rose placed her gently inside her crib, kissed her forehead, and left the room. At some point later, she began to cry. The sound drifted through the house, the sharp cry of a baby crying out. The Carters made a decision many parents made. They let her cry it out. They thought it would help her settle. George Carter, even decades later, would never stop replaying that choice. What if we had gone to her? What if we had brought her into our bed? He asked in a 2007 interview, would she still be alive today? It was a question that haunted him for the rest of his life. Morning came. The sun rose over the neighborhood quiet again after the holidays. When Rose went into her daughter's room, she expected to find Nima asleep, curled in her blanket. Instead, she found an empty crib. Nima was gone. Panic erupted in the household. George and Rose searched every corner of the house, every closet, every space where a toddler might crawl and hide, but nothing. The bedroom window was checked. It was still locked from the inside, glass unbroken. The door was secure. There was no sign of forced entry. No rack-set room, no overturned furniture. Nothing was out of place except their baby was missing. For investigators, the scene was a nightmare. It was as if Nima had simply vanished into the night. One chilling theory soon emerged, that the abductor may have hidden inside the large wardrobe in the bedroom, waiting silently until the Carters was asleep before lifting Nima from her bed and disappearing into the dark. Looking back, investigators realized this crime didn't come out of nowhere. The Carters had already experienced disturbing incidents in the months before Nima's disappearance. First, the family dog had been poisoned, a deliberate act of cruelty. Then, days later, the house was broken into and vandalized. Whoever was behind it seemed to be circling the family, testing their easiness. Was Nima's abduction the final act of that campaign, or just a horrifying coincidence? The Carters themselves were investigated. as are routine cases of missing children. But George and Rose were quickly cleared. Their grief was raw, their confusion real. They were victims, not suspects. Weeks passed with no answers. Lawton searched. Flyers were passed. Tips chased down. But the trail went cold.
Then on November 29, 1977, near a month after Nina vanished, a group of children wandered into an abandoned house just 4 blocks from the Carter home. Inside, they found a refrigerator. At first, it was just curiosity, an old appliance left behind. But when they opened it, the sight sent them running in horror. Inside was a decomposed body of baby Nima. A soldier from Fort Still, passing through, later confirmed the discovery and alerted authorities. Detectives determined she had been placed in the refrigerator almost immediately after being taken. With the door shut tight, there had been no escape. She had slowly suffocated in the dark, just blocks from her parents' desperate search. The cause of death was ruled asphyxiation. What stunned investigators most was how familiar the crime felt. Just a year before, in April 1976, another case had shaken Lawton. 3-year-old twins Tina and Mary Carpenter had been lured from their home onto an abandoned house. They too were placed inside a refrigerator. By the time they were found, Mary had died of suffocation. Her sister Tina, incredibly, had survived. She had managed to breathe through a tiny hole. Tina identified their babysitter, 16-year-old Jackie Robadukes, as the one who took them. A neighbor later admitted seeing Jackie dragging the twins down the street that night, but she never reported it to the police at the time. "I guess, like other people, I didn't want to get involved," she said later, because Tina was so young and no physical evidence could back up her account. Jackie wasn't charged at the time, but she had stayed in Lawton, and eventually she began babysitting for George and Rose Carter. By 1979, police had enough evidence to charge Jackie Robadukes in Mary Carpenter's death. She was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. Suspicion immediately fell on her in Nina's case. The similarities were undeniable. Both victims were small children, both placed inside refrigerators and abandoned homes. Both crimes happened within blocks of each other. Detective Cecil Davison, who worked the case, remained convinced Jackie was guilty of killing Nima as well. He confronted her in prison. Jackie claimed she had been at a bingo game that night. Nima disappeared. "She was very quiet," Davidson remembered. "Never looked at you in the eyes. She'd get close to telling you something important, but then she'd back off. We had no evidence, no fingerprints, no footprints, no blood. Nothing. Without it, the DA wouldn't prosecute." Jackie died in prison in 2005 of cancer, never admitting involvement in Nima's case. Even with the Carter family, doubts remained. Nina's grandmother, Audrey Carter, was convinced Jackie had done it. "I thought Robadukes was capable," she said. "Looking back now, how many curious things about her. She was just weird." But George Carter struggled with the idea. "The Jackie we knew? No, it doesn't add up," he said. "Nima loved her. She'd run up to her, hug her, but I later read Jackie was on drugs back then. Was it her? Maybe, but I've never been fully convinced." Rose Carter passed away in 2000, never learning the truth about who killed her daughter. George carried the weight of the loss into his later years, but found a form of peace through forgiveness. "The person who did this will have to answer to God. I'll never forget the act, but I forgive the person. That alone has set me free." And yet, he admitted years later, one question still lingered. "If I could talk to Jackie now, I'd ask her if she killed Nima. I'd hope she'd tell me the truth." Nearly 50 years have passed since that Halloween night in 1977. No one has ever been charged in the abduction and murder of Nima Louise Carter. Was it Jackie Robidukes repeating the nightmare she inflicted on the Carpenter twins? Or was it someone else? The same person who poisoned the Carter's dog, who vandalized their home, who seemed to have been circling them before the crime. All that is certain is this. On Halloween night, George and Rose Carter put their little girl to bed, believing she was safe. By morning, she was gone. A month later, she was found just 4 blocks away, silenced in the dark of an abandoned refrigerator. Every Halloween, while other families light jack-o'-lanterns and pass out candy, the Carter family remembered the night they lost everything. And the name Nima Louise Carter still lingers, not as a ghost story told on Halloween, but as a real child whose life was stolen before her 2nd birthday and whose killer was never brought to justice. Before we end this case, let's remember the young girl that died, Nima Louise Carter. Decades have passed since that Halloween night in 1977, but the shadow it left on one Oklahoma family has never truly faded. Nima Louise Carter was only 19 months old when she was stolen from her crib, a little girl with bright eyes and an innocent smile, whose life was just beginning. She never got the chance to blow out the candles on her 2nd birthday, to learn her ABCs, or to run into her parents' arm after a day of play. For her mother, Rose Carter, the years that followed were marked by heartbreak. She carried the unbearable grief of a mother who could never protect her child, never know the truth of what happened. Rose passed away in 2000 without answers, her heartache going with her. Her father, George Carter, has carried that grief differently. He speaks often of forgiveness, of leaving judgment to God. Yet even in his words, you can hear the quiet ache of a father who lost the most precious thing in this world. He still wonders about the cries he heard that night, still replays the what ifs that no parent should ever have to live with. And yet through it all, he chooses not to let bitterness define him. I forgive the person, he once said. That alone has set me free. But forgiveness does not erase love. The love is what keeps Nima's memory alive. For her family, she will never be a cold case or just another unsolved crime. She will always be the little girl who laughed, who hugged her babysitter at the door, who lit up her parents' world for those 19 short months. Nima's story is tragic, yes, but it is also a reminder of the fierce love parents hold for their children and the way that love endures, even when everything else is taken away. The world may move on, names may fade from headlines, but for George, for Rose, and for those who still whisper her story in Lawton, Nima Louise Carter is not forgotten. This is the case of Nima Louise Carter. Now let's get into some theories.
Theories.
Let's get into some theories. Let's get into some theories. Everyone is a suspect until proven guilty. Let's get into some theories. Lesbian detectives. What type of thoughts you thinking? What theories running through your mind? I'm thinking all types of suspicion. Uncover the truth, what we can find. Witness say they saw somebody creeping out the back door. What you think they did it for? That's so crazy, I'm not sure. They found a car, where could she be? Here go another puzzle piece. Research and do your history. It's plenty unsolved mysteries. Everyone is a suspect until proven guilty. Let's get into some theories, yeah. Let's get into some theories. Let's get into some theories. Everyone is a suspect until proven guilty. Let's get into some theories. Let's be in detectives.
You or me?
Actually, I want to go first this time.
Okay. Go.
I believe it was the babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
There was something wrong with her. She was on drugs and then she wasn't,
Mhm.
according to George.
Mm-hmm.
There was something mental about that person. Because why would you want to hurt a child? Why would you want to hurt anybody, period?
Mhm.
But I get it. If there is some type of mental illness, you start hearing voices. It starts telling you to do certain stuff, right? If she hurt the other 2 twins, most likely she hurt Nima.
Okay.
And it just so happened to be on Halloween night.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween Day is the day that most children get sacrificed to the devil.
Mm-hmm.
So what if she was schizophrenic or some type of other mental illness and she heard voices telling her, hey, like, you have to do this?
Mm-hmm.
It happened the same way. They were in an abandoned house, stuck in a refrigerator, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, it was her. She knew the layout because she used to babysit.
Mm-hmm.
And a good theory is that she hid in the wardrobe waiting for the perfect time. And then she did it. She didn't have to crack a window, bust a door open, because she knew exactly where she was and how to get out and when to get out.
So I'm different from you.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of people believe it's a babysitter, but it's just something. It's the cry. I'm a mother. I know my child. If my daughter is in the bed, she sleep, and I pick her up, she's not going to immediately cry because she know who I am. She know my warmth. So if I put her on my chest, she's like, oh, it's my mom. Even if it's my mother, her grandmother, she's not going to immediately cry. Their cry always stood out to me because her family said that she was attached to Jackie. So immediately, if she saw Jackie, she's like, oh, Jackie, like, I know this person. Like, I'm comfortable with this person. She's not going to cry out. She's going to be comfortable with this person. Whoever took her, to me, and whoever took her, she really didn't know this person. I know people are like, oh, she's just 19 months. Kids knows. Kids are very smart for their age. They know who they can trust and who they can't trust. And I don't know. It's that cry. The cry always stood out to me. They said because she wailed. She was crying loud. So for her to go up to Jackie and always run up to her, always hug her, seemed like she really loved this lady. For her to do that type of cry, it made no sense to me.
So the cry, I feel like if you startled anyone, they're going to cry. A toddler, most likely. It depends how she picked her up.
Mm-hmm.
You would pick up our daughter with a soft touch, caressing, soothing. Either way, my baby does not like to be woken up. She sleeps like a rock, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Nima. She might have been a light sleeper. You startled her. You were trying to get out of there so fast, so you just quickly got her, and maybe that's why she started crying.
I mean, still, another thing. With the other family, they didn't go through as much. They didn't have their dog poisoned. They didn't have their house vandalized. To me, that's another thing. Why all this stuff is going on with this family? If you think it's Jackie, like, okay, she's having a mental breakdown. But to me, it's like, it seemed like somebody did not like this family. They wanted to hurt this family. And they knew to hurt a mother and a father is to hurt their kid. I don't know. I can see Jackie because that's what the police is pointing us to. But I always believe, and we always say, everybody's a suspect. You have to look at everybody. Who is really in their life if they know about? Was the father having an affair and the person was getting mad because he broke it off or won't leave the family? Or was the mother having an affair? It's so much. Or was somebody jealous of this family? We don't know. But I feel like the police focus so much on Jackie that I feel like they should have looked elsewhere. Also, what if this person knew what Jackie did to these twins? And they're like, oh, okay, I can get away with this crime if I do what Jackie did. Let me recreate that crime she did to this little sweet little baby to get back at this family. I'm just saying that sometimes, even though like you have a suspect like in your face, look elsewhere sometimes. Because for you not to have so much on Jackie, you have nothing. Like they have no proof. She is young. How you have no proof? No hair, nothing. You don't have no DNA. You have nothing on this girl. I mean, even though it's so many years ago, we still can look at this case again. Run that DNA, as I always say. Do
What
something.
DNA?
But I mean, it was the 1970s.
What did she leave behind?
They say really nothing.
Exactly.
And that's my problem. She's young. She's going like, if she having a mental breakdown, do you think she had the knowledge to not leave a trace? To me, that seemed like a clear mind person. But I'm just saying, I always just believe to look at other possibilities. What if this person had a key to their house? I don't know. Was Jackie playing a role? It's just so much that I feel like I need more evidence on. Like Jackie, yes, if she did hurt the twins, I mean, she was convicted. The little girl said it was her, but it's so much that I'm like, then it's another thing to me. The police didn't look into Jackie until the body was found, right? And they're like, okay, her crime and the twins, like this Nima case and the twins case match. But to me, if you sat down with the parents and the parents told you every name that was in their kid's life, why was Jackie not looked at earlier? Because I don't know for sure, because I never had anybody go missing around I had somebody go missing before in my family, and she was found safe. But they do sit you down and say, hey, write down everybody that's in your child life, babysitters, doctors, all that. Jackie's name would have came up a little earlier to me. On November the 1st, when they came to their house, you can't tell me that they didn't put Jackie's name down. Her name was already in the police radar for the unaliving of little Mary. So why wouldn't she look a little earlier, though, to me? I'm just saying.
Okay, so to me, Jackie had already done it once. Why would she not do it again? A serial killer will try and attack better each time. They're gonna take more calculated risks. And it's almost like they can't help the fact that they need to fulfill this hunger, even though it's bad. I personally would not have allowed her to come into my home knowing what I knew. Even if it was just speculation, I would have passed. But George was defending her. And he talks about forgiving her. What if there was something more between that?
You see what I'm saying? Affair.
It could have been. And I still think that it was her.
Okay.
I still think that it was her because it's like once you've done it one time, you're going to do it again. And the only time that you would see a person different is if you're in love. If you have those love goggles on. Makes you do crazy things. But I do believe it was her. I don't think it was just some random stranger that happened to want to do and recreate the same thing that Jackie supposedly did. If you know that this person has done something, most likely they're going to do it again.
But to me, okay, they live in a small town. And these young girls were unalive. And the prime suspect is Jackie. Small towns talk. I couldn't find this out. And somebody, if you know this, please inbox me, because I really want to know this. I could not find it because this case is so long ago and the family really haven't talked about it since the early 2000s. How did they know about Jackie? Like, you telling me you didn't know about this girl that possibly unalived the other kids that she was babysitting? Why would you let her babysit your daughter?
Right.
That's why I'm stuck at. It's like, it's so many things that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I am stuck on, because how did this happen? It's so many things that I feel like it's hidden a little bit in this case, because Jackie is an easy target, right? I always say she's an easy target. If she did unalive these twins and everybody knew it in town, why was she babysitting their daughter? That's what I'm stuck on, because small town talks. Even now, when you have a babysitter, you run a reference, you do all that work. You telling me that everybody didn't know that she did this? It had to be in the news. It had to be in the newspaper. It had to be somebody. Grandma was talking about it at the freaking grocery store. I just don't believe it, because it was such a small town. Small towns like to gossip because there's nothing else really to do in a small town. That's why I'm just stuck at. I don't understand how she became the child babysitter, because it just had to be known. It's just so many pieces of this story that I need to fill in. Like, I need to just sit down and like, okay, let me fill this part in, because it's a lot of pieces that's missing. That was my ramble. But guys, let us know, who do you think unalive little Nima? And I love that name. I just had to say that name was just beautiful to me. This is our case. And guys, this case was a hard one, because we dealt with somebody that wasn't even 2 yet. And she had a very, very bright future ahead of her that was cut too short. Again, we are only doing Halloween cases this month. If you have one that you want me to do that I should do, put it in the description below or slide into my DMs. I will look into it and I will try to do it. Or it probably already on my list because I have not chose like 2 cases yet. So you could have a spot in this month episode. Thank you everybody for listening to our podcast, for liking us. Give us a 5-star rating. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I cannot wait to tell you our next case. Don't forget, everybody's a suspect
Until proven innocent.
Bye. See you next week.
Lesbian detective. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Right now, lesbian detective. Lesbian detective. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready to go. Pay attention to the message I present to you, the lesbian detectives.